Hey everybody, welcome back to another Halloween how-to. Now, I'm just going to put the lid on my cheese balls. These are my crafting cheese balls. I like to get them every year. I picked up this from Walmart the other day. It was like $5-6. But nothing gets me in the mood for crafting quite like my orange cheese balls. It's very Halloween, isn't it? But, you know, as one could expect with any of my crafting projects, it went to hell pretty fast. So I'm not going to be showing you a crafting project today. I guess this is kind of a craft, but it's more of a prop build. And we will save my crafting for another day when I can salvage it. But so today I thought I would just show you my bottomless pit prop. This is something that's very easy to make. A lot of people do them, but I'm kind of lazy and I wanted to do a cheap and easy version. So I thought I would share that with you as to what I did. Now, you know, some people will make them out of like big pallet containers and make it look very, very professional. I was just kind of going for the bare minimum. And, you know, I have used this prop in my haunt for 2 or 3 years and it's still going strong. I think that's probably because a lot of people just bypass it completely, don't even notice it. But I think those that do take a look at it get pretty impressed with it. And it's very easy to build, so I thought I would just run you through what I did. So this is just pretty much the hardest part of the build is constructing this little box that people are going to peer down into. And what I did, well, basically, in case you're not familiar with how it works, is it works on the concept of there's 2 mirrors reflecting off each other. And one of those mirrors has to be a 2-way mirror, so you can look through it, but then, you know, the light will bounce up and down, and you know, you just basically, it'll keep reflecting off itself and it will look like it is, you know, going on forever. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but for those of you who don't, there you go. So this is the kind of box that I built that you're going to look down into. And what I made this out of, well, first of all, I just got those little 1x2s that I kind of build my haunt walls and everything. And I just created a box. Now, that box size was pretty much dictated by my mirrors. I pretty much just found a mirror, and you know, I like to just use what I have. So this is a dual purpose mirror. It, you know, is in my guest room for, you know, 10 months of the year until Halloween time comes around, and then it becomes my bottomless pit prop. So, you know, it's got kind of a sturdy frame, so I use this as the base of my prop. So I'm just going to throw this on the floor down here. And then basically all I did was I took these 1x2s and I created a box that fit just inside the frame of the mirror. And then, you know, I built up the corners, and then I put a top ring around it. So I've basically got this whole box. And then I glued a piece of cardboard on each side of the box. And then on top of the cardboard, I just took some spray glue and I sprayed these wall decorations that you can get from the dollar store. Can't beat that, it's $1. I think it took like 2 of these. These are 42 inches long or wide and 72 inches long. So I wanted these just because of this sort of wood base decoration. I don't know how well you can see that, but it has, you know, it's kind of supposed to be the inside of a mansion. So you've got like the, you know, wood detail at the bottom of the wall, and then the ripped wallpaper with some spiders, which you can just barely see the wallpaper portion in the actual prop here. Push it back, hopefully it's in the frame there. So it's mostly the wood panel at the bottom. So, you know, I use this outside, but this way I think it still kind of looks like it's an outside prop because you just see lots of the sort of broken wall detail. Let me just pick this back up so you can see it. And I did get some dollar store spider stickers. They're kind of hard to see, but they're the kind that pop out a little bit. So I put some spiders on here because there's a lot of spider webs on it, which, there you go. I mean, you can't really tell that that's supposed to be the inside of a house. But then actually I also used the same sort of dollar store wall decor to wrap the insides of the box, and I used a skeleton one. Basically, I don't have an example of it, but it's skeletons reaching through some bars, like a door or something. So I thought, you know, when you're looking inside the prop, you see a bunch of skeletons. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and put that down. So it just fits right inside this base frame of the mirror. That holds it in place so it doesn't go anywhere. Now you're also going to need the mirror for the top. But now the problem here is you need a two-way mirror so that you can see through the one side and then the other side is the mirror. So what I did is basically I constructed this to make sure it fit both frames. So it slides just slightly on the bottom frame because I got this top frame. Basically, it's a poster frame, I think, or just a cheap picture frame. So I used that so I could get the glass, which I think is more of a plasticky glass for safety. Anyway, but what I did is I bought some film from Amazon. Amazon sells this two-way sort of mirror film. I think it's primarily used for windows, so it reflects from one side, and the other side you can see through. So anyway, I put it on the frame, and that gives me my top piece of glass to look through. Now, this is probably a prop that you want to use supervision with, so I've used it outside a lot, but this is glass-ish material. Could theoretically break, so you might want to keep it within eyesight so that kids aren't trying to like stand on it or lean on it or anything. But I've never had any problems in the couple of years I've used it. But one thing you have to do is, you really need it to be pretty dark for this to work. And if it is not extremely dark, you want a really bright light. In fact, the brighter light, the better, because then you're going to be able to see the details in the prop. So I use this little strip LED light and one of these little portable batteries. A lot of times you can use these to charge your phone or whatnot. So I can just plug in my little LED light, turn it on, and it is super bright. So let me just grab the camera. Here is the inside of the box. You can kind of see the skeletons, they're creeping out. It is a little bit more reflective than I would have liked, but it works. So anyway, let me go ahead and put in the light. Now, I usually will just sort of, put it just basically in the corner so it shines up or shines enough light into the prop there. So I'm going to go ahead and you'll notice I also put a little escape tunnel with my little skeleton holding it. The skeleton kind of ties it all together. The escape tunnel kind of gives people an idea that it is supposed to be, something they can look into. I'm just going to put the top on, I'm going to turn out the lights, and let's take a look inside. All right, as you can see the glow in the darkness. And as we get closer and look down, we have our bottomless pit. I did go ahead and adjust the placement of the light just because it was really not shining enough. I think if it really shines on the side walls, it helps you get the detail. And now I've got my skeletons looking out. If you look far enough, you can kind of see that second reflection will be upside down and then every other one will be upside down. But I think you'd have to really be looking close to even notice that, because you're not going to really see past the first few. Most people will just marvel how that light continues down forever. All right, so what do you think? I love it. Now, this is something that the kids especially are going to love. I guess I'm just a big kid at heart, but I think most of us are. You get fascinated by these simple things. And, this is a prop that's going to get you good impact if people can notice it. For next to nothing. Now, the costs involved for this project, I had the mirror on hand already. I used cardboard for the frame. This is actually the cardboard box that my Headless Horseman came in. If you watch that review video, it's the one, that animatronic figure I didn't have a box for, so I still kick myself for using this box for that, but, I use what I have. The covers for it came from the dollar store. They were just a couple of bucks now. The downside of these, of course, you probably noticed, is the glare that comes off the light fixture on the inside. So it is very reflective. It's going to take away a little bit of the realism, but you know, kids aren't going to care about that. The frame for the top I got from one of those, I think it was from the at-home store for like $6. The most expensive part of this is finding your two-way mirror. You can find them in the actual, mirror form. I used the film. The film was actually about 20 bucks on Amazon, but it came in a big old roll, enough to make more of these. And believe it or not, I actually did find a roll of that film once at the Goodwill store. I kicked myself for not buying it, but again, what would I use it for? I'm not going to make any more of these. But anyway, you never know where you're going to find it. It's my point. And then I made the little escape tunnel sign out of some extra spray paint and wood that I had on hand. I didn't usually have my skeleton holding it. I would have it sticking out of the ground. And you can actually use little those little hand props that look like they're claws or something. I'm holding on to it. I like to do that. I have a few examples that I've used on other signage that I put around my house. Just so it looks like there's something reaching out of the ground holding the sign. I always think that's kind of neat. But that's it. It's simple. It's relatively cheap, and it's an easy project to do. If you're like me and aren't going to be able to spend the time and the money to make a really professional looking bottomless pit, I think this is a reasonable facsimile for the price and the time involved. So anyway, that's how I do things. If you want to see me do more things like that, make sure you're subscribed. That's it for today, guys. I will see you around. Hopefully I'll get my craft project off the ground, come up with a different plan on how to make that work. So stay tuned. Happy haunting, guys. Take care.